My name is Dr. Howard Croom. My title is Associate Athletic Director, Chief Diversity Officer, and Director of Student Services. In that role, I lead the department's diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging efforts. I also oversee a number of areas related to the holistic development of student athletes, like student athlete development, international services, as well as liaison to academics for student athletes. And I also have sport oversight of the men's wrestling program. My experience at OSU as a student athlete was amazing. I'm a diehard Beaver through and through. I stayed here for 6 years. I got my master's degree after I was done playing and got my bachelor's. I was on a football team that won 3 bowl games, went to 4 bowl games. I think we won 36 games in 4 years. So I had an absolutely amazing experience, and go Beavs. I think my time as a student athlete prepared me to be a leader in college athletics because it really allowed me to understand the unique needs of the student athlete population. Coming to college is going to be difficult. There's going to be a transition, and it's going to be a tough social, academic terrain for anybody to navigate. And then you throw Division I athletics on top of it. That's a whole new set of demands and challenges that student athletes have to face. So me being able to intimately understand that, I think is very beneficial for me as a leader now in college athletics, as well as me getting the experience of having pressure on me, having to perform under pressure, having to be coachable, having to go perform in front of 50,000 people. Whether I succeed or I don't succeed, I got to bounce back next play and figure it out, and those are skills that we're equipped with as student athletes that folks often oversee, but or often overlook. But to be able to operate under pressure with poise and to take criticism, those are skills that I think are going to serve me well, as an administrator, and that's stuff that I got from being a student athlete. Well, as the Chief Diversity Officer, I think my main goal is to help foster an inclusive environment at Oregon State and Oregon State athletics for all student athletes, staff. The goal is for everybody to feel like OSU athletics is a place where they can come, be their full, true, authentic selves, show up as themselves and feel comfortable, feel valued, feel welcomed. That's number one. We want to make sure we're fostering that kind of environment for everybody and to where folks feel that inclusion and it leads to a sense of belonging. I belong here in this athletic department as my true self. That's my first goal for OSU athletics, and Scott Barnes and Kimya Massey in the athletic department, the administrators here, they've done a great job in laying out diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging as part of the strategic plan, and carving out this role as a chief diversity officer so that I can lead the efforts, the DEI efforts, and to get to where we want to be. So that's my first goal for this department. As a former athletic academic advisor, I think the advice I would give myself is start today figuring out what you want to do with the rest of your life. Freshman year is the time to start. It's not too early. And honestly, my advice would be treat your future like it's an emergency. Figure out exactly what you want to do, because the good news is if you start early, there is a Beaver alum that works in whatever field that you want to work in. Any industry you want to go into, I would venture to say there's probably an OSU alum that owns a company in that space. So if you figure it out early, you can really start doing some networking, because one thing that student athletes don't understand, even all students, but especially student athletes, is the power that they have, especially as current students. Beaver Nation loves athletics. If you reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm a student athlete on the rowing team, I would love to pick your brain, I'm interested in your business or your field of work, that person's going to open up their contact list. They're going to be generous with their time, and you're going to start building a network of professional contacts early. So there's so much power in that, and I would give myself that advice if I was as a freshman. My favorite movie is Half Baked. I think that movie speaks to me because it's a story about friendship, it's a story about resiliency, it's a story about folks overcoming adversity and having to lean on one another, come together as a team to accomplish something together, And I think if you look at what Scarface, Thurgood, Brian, and Kenny did in that movie, It's a great life lesson that we all can learn from, and there's a ton of entrepreneurial lessons in there as well. So I think Half Baked is one that everybody should go check out if they haven't seen, and highly recommended.